Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my series from the ZAWA server on the Omega Minecraft network, where we are trying to build a city that has been abandoned by humans and taken over by animals. I am currently in a savanna biome, and that is because last time I promised you animals, and today we are going to try and find some animals, specifically African wild dogs, which live in savanna biomes, and I'm going to go and look for them. I want the African wild dogs to be the first animal in my city, and I think it's going to be really fun to have wild dogs running around there. African wild dogs are a very social animal. They live in big packs and they stick together and defend each other, so we need to be careful, because if we hurt one of them, the entire pack is going to come and try and hurt us back. And wow, we're really lucky there is one. Look at that. So where's the rest of his pack? Oh, little guy, where are your friends? Or did you make friends with the giraffes? Little guy, are you trying to hide from me? I want to see your face. Why are you turning away from me? I want to show people how cute you look. Okay, so this is the African wild dog, and it looks like he doesn't have a pack, but he will get one soon when we have him in our city. And so I think I can probably just catch him with a net, because there are no other wild dogs here to attack me. At least I hope so. Maybe they are hiding in the tall grass somewhere. So in my second player vault, I have some things that help me to catch animals. I have prepared some things. The capture cages are really useful for big animals, and also because they don't hurt the animal when you catch them, but it's hard to get them in there, so I'm going to try the normal capture net with this dog. It's going to hurt him a little bit, but not a lot, I think. So, okay, yeah, that worked, and we are not getting attacked right now, which I'm very glad about. Put him safely away. And I guess I'll just have to continue walking and try and find more of them. I also like to look in the little water holes in the savannas, because that's the place where African lake cichlids, I think it's cichlids, African lake cichlids spawn, and I haven't found any of those yet, and I would really like to have some. But I think they spawn quite rarely. So it has turned night by now, because I've been searching for so long, but I just came up on what I think are some more doggies. Hello? Oh, it's one dog and one anteater. And a little puppy. Hello. Oh my god, so cute. Hi. He's looking at me. Um, well, how do I best do that? I think maybe I'll pillar up so they can't get to me. Where did the little puppy go? He's there in the grass, I think. So I have a gun that shoots nets, and I think this may be the best solution in this case. The net launcher, and I need those slingshot nets. The puppy is below me now. Okay. Let's catch the parent first. They are running away. They know what's coming. Well, great. Try that again. No? Oh, that did not work. That's not good. Okay, then I probably need to trank them. So let's get out the tranquilizer gun and the darts. Sorry, little guy. And you? Come on. Okay, and now let's try the nets. Are a bit tricky to use. Yeah, I do have nets. Why doesn't it launch them? Okay, I will use the other nets if this doesn't work. I need to be quick now because otherwise they will get untranked. Yeah, we got them. Okay. Great. Well, 3 dogs is still not a big pack like I want to have, but I will probably search for some more and catch them off camera. And meanwhile, we can go back to the zoo and start our build there. Okay, welcome back to the base. We are standing on the roof of the building that we built last time, our storage building, where I have created a small roof garden with some harvestable plants. Some of them we can use to feed animals, and also some flowers so we can get some dyes. And I want to show you around the storage building, which I have filled in with all kinds of things. So if we descend from the roof here, we arrive in my plants section, where I'm storing some leaves because I like having all kinds of leaves for decorating. Some plants that cover the ground, which we can see here, and then they are in the corresponding chests, or barrels rather. And then we have some other plants here, and of course flowers sorted by color, some bamboo, cacti. Yeah, I like this a lot. Then the next floor down we have all kind of building blocks. Up top are all the ones that I could craft into stairs because that enables us to open the chests, and on the bottom are all the ones that can't be crafted into stairs. So yeah, that works somehow. I'm sure I have forgotten some blocks, so I still have, well, I don't have a lot of space left. I guess I could add some more chests here if need be. I also have some space left in on other floors. This floor is my wood storage, and I have displayed all the kinds of wood so I can see what colors they are and compare what fits well together or what would fit with some other blocks. Yeah, I like that a lot. I have 3 chests for oak and for jungle each because I'm getting all of that from chopping down the jungle around me, and the jungle chests are already completely full, and I've started just putting stuff in shulker boxes. I have way too much of that stuff, but maybe it will come in handy. I mean, it did certainly when I was building all those, crafting all those chests for the storage. I used up quite a few stacks for that already. Then on the second floor from the bottom, I have my animal storage, where I have created some barrels to store some animals in, and I have decorated them with the plushies that we have available, at least in the places where we do have them available, and then the other ones just have signs. There's a lot of barrels in between that don't have any signs on them yet because I know there will be a lot of animals added, and I have tried to do them alphabetically, but I will probably need to reorder them in some way. We also have chests for fishes here, and then all kinds of foods and other animal-related things. And then on the ground floor, we have the crafting area. We are storing ores and armor and tools and all kinds of stuff for crafting. We have a small auto smelter setup. I know people make much bigger auto smelters that are much more efficient, but I like the small little setup. It's easy to do, and it does the job, at least if you are around long enough for everything to smelt. Yeah, and then here we have some of the, this is the glass blower workbench, I think, and the engineer's workbench, I think, from the chipped mod. So those enable us to change blocks into different types of blocks. So yeah, that's very useful. But now, so I need to show you what I did with the base, because I've been very busy, and it's the reason why it took so long for this next video to come out, because I've just been completely lost in terraforming and layouting. I redid a lot of the layout, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. But I also did a lot of terraforming, making everything flat, not just that part here, but also in the other direction behind the house. Yeah, you can see I did a lot of terraforming and tree chopping, and I kind of just lost myself in that and forgot to continue with other things like making videos and building things for animals. So let's engage the jetpack and I'll show you around a bit. So if you remember from last episode, we had a 2-lane street and I changed that into a 4-lane street because I thought the 2-lane street just looked too small. I want this to have a big city feel. I want this to feel like it was a huge city at one point. So I decided on doing a 4-lane street, and it's very wide. It takes up a lot of space, which is also why I terraformed so much, so that we still have space to build things next to the street. So yeah, I think this entire project is going to be really huge. I just hope I can keep the momentum going. This is, I'm not going to tell you what this is yet. That's probably going to come in the next episode or the episode after. This is going to be a building that will house some animals. And let's go over here. The big road continues here on the side of this little hill, and on top of this little hill I want to have kind of an old town section like you have in old European cities. The sun is going down, so let me engage night vision. On the server it feels like it's always either night or raining. Well, but it's good that I have night vision. And here you can see I already filled in some of the streets, so you can see how that's going to look in the future. Probably I might do some changes still, change some things around it. One person recommended that I add some dirt blocks as well, not just grass, so I may do that at some point. And then here the street goes up and turns into a bridge and is going to disappear somewhere in the jungle. Yeah, you can see I've done a ton of chopping down trees and terraforming. There are some places that I still need to continue terraforming, but for now we have some space to build some things. And this is where the first project is going to be that we're going to do today. So when I thought of this idea that I wanted to build a city with lots of animals instead of a zoo, one of the problems that I was thinking about was that I still want to somehow for the animals to stay in their own place, to kind of have their own little space where they can't leave, where they're still kind of locked in, so to say, because I don't want them just roaming around everywhere and leaving my claim and getting lost and everything. So I had to think about things, about places where I could do that, where I could find a way for the animals to not escape, but it's still looking like they were kind of free and there of their own free will, so to say. And one of the things that I thought about was a school, because I feel like schoolyards are often fenced in. So a school would be a good idea, and I also found it just really fun to think about animals taking over an abandoned school. So the wild dogs that we just caught are going to live in a school building, and I want it to be a school building that is kind of for younger kids, so a primary school. So we're going to have a playground out in the yard, and in the back you can see we are going to have a small soccer field. Yeah, I think that's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to building that. I have prepared some shulker boxes already. This one is for doing the ground in the yard, and over here I have one with building blocks for the school building itself. I don't know if that's going to be enough blocks, maybe I need to get more, but that is going to get us started. And I have created a basic layout for the school as well. So we are going to have a big hallway and then some classrooms. And there's going to be a second floor as well, because one thing that I wanted to have is to have the ability to use the roof of the ground floor kind of as a viewing platform, to go up there and look down into the schoolyard to see the wild dogs roaming around. And then one of the classrooms is going to be kind of broken up and half collapsed, and the dogs are going to have access to that as well. The rest of the school building is going to be for us to walk in and access the places where we can look at the dogs. So in the front of the school building, I think there's going to be some stone or asphalt. I might make this prettier eventually, but for now we're going to just use plain stone for that. As you know, I like to do the basic layout first with some basic blocks and then later go and add all the details. Yeah, I don't really like how that looks here right next to the sidewalk. Maybe I will use some stairs as well, like I did here, to create a small border eventually. I want for the ground floor to be raised up from the ground a little bit. So we're going to have a staircase that leads into the school. And I'm going to raise it by 2 blocks. So let me just use the stairs as temporary blocks. Yeah, like this. And I'm going to create some pillars here that carry the roof that goes out a bit in front, so you have a covered entrance. And yeah, then the door that goes into the school is going to be right here. Actually, I think I'm going to take this, push this to the front a little bit, because yeah, I want the school building to start here. Yeah, let me take all of that away again. Okay, I've moved the stairs forward 1 block, so now we have a little space up here to stand before we start with the doors and the building. I want to make the base of the building out of bricks, so let's start that. And so where I grew up, I feel like all the primary schools, or most of them, kind of look a specific way. They are like, you know, like these boxy utilitarian buildings that are not very pretty and look a bit like prisons. And it kind of looks like someone eventually decided that this was too sad for children to go to a school like that. So someone slapped some cheery paint on it to make it look better. So now you have these colorful boxy buildings. And that's what primary schools look like around where I grew up. So that's kind of what I want to recreate. So I have chosen 2 colors so far. One is pink terracotta, and I think this is definitely a very underused block. It's actually a very pretty color. I like it a lot. And then yellow terracotta, which I also like a lot. And I think I'm going to use the yellow for the second floor. I also made a chipped version of the pink terracotta that looks almost like plain terracotta with just a little bit more structure. Yeah, you can see it here at the top, so I'm going to sprinkle that in probably. And then for the floor, I'm going to use spruce, and I'm probably going to make slabs out of the planks so that we don't have to use as much of it. Okay, so I've built the basic outlines of the ground floor of the school. We come in here. Then we have a classroom to the left. That's the one where the doggies are going to be in. So I've also made a large window so you can look in there. Here is another door that goes out to the schoolyard, but that's going to be closed because that's where the doggies are. another window, and then round here you come to the second classroom, and you can see over here that there's not much standing still. It's just a bunch of ruins, and I'm going to make that nice and overgrown. So now I need to figure out what to do with the roof and the second floor. So this part here in the front is definitely going to have a roof, and the roof is just going to be a flat roof to create that boxy look that I was talking about. And then there's going to be a second floor somewhere around here, and I need to make it so that I can build staircases in here on that wall. But yeah, what you just witnessed in the background, by the way, is our half-hourly entity removal to combat the lag. So I want to have a staircase here that goes up to the second floor, but I still want to have some room on that wall to also put down some lockers. So let me start here with the flat roof that we have here in the front. That didn't work so well. And what I wanted to do here is to put upside down stairs all around this for this kind of look. Yeah. So yeah, let me figure out where I'm going to put the second floor, and I will be right back with you. So I figured out how I want to do the second floor of this building. So we have the stairs here to the right of the hallway, and up here the hallway is kind of to the right, so the stairs are on the left. We have a small classroom here where we can look down on the yard and part of this classroom here. And over here part of the wall is missing, so we can access this part here that is kind of the cover for the stairs that lead to the yard. And over here I'm probably going to build out the floor a little bit more, but not by much, because yeah, this building has a lot of structural damage over here. So I need to build the walls a little bit more, and then also roof over part of this. I need to see how exactly I want to do this, but I definitely want a bit more roof, just so that it's a bit more apparent what the layout of this building used to be at some point, so that it's not just random walls in random places. Well, I've done the roof, and with that I'm done with the basic structure of the building. Now I think it's high time that we jump into a time lapse while I work on the yard and the soccer field and do some details on the building. Well, everyone, we got a lot done. We added a lot of details and we did a lot of ruining, and I'm already really happy with what we've done so far. But there are some things that are still missing. For example, the playground is still missing. We need a fence, just some details out here, and especially the interior of the school, the classrooms, and so forth. And unfortunately, this episode is already pretty long, so I think I will have to push that to the next episode. So this is part one of the school, and part two will come next time. I would really appreciate it if you could maybe leave me a comment and tell me if you like this style of video where I take you through how I build everything, or if you prefer to just watch some nice and snazzy time lapses with some nice music to it. I would really, really be interested in hearing about what you would like to see. So please leave me a comment. Have a good time, everybody. See you next time. Bye bye.